There comes a time, a moment in every leader's journey when the real test isn't how long you can hold power, it's whether you know when to pass it on. Hi, and welcome to the 10 Commandments of Leadership podcast. Here we educate, equip, and empower emerging leaders with God-thought leadership, and we present current events and newsmakers in the light of best practices from the Bible. The news that 87-year-old Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California is being challenged by a 53-year-old candidate isn't just politics, it's leadership, it's succession, and it's ego. Now, I have nothing against Maxine Waters at all, but I have everything for leadership development and succession planning. This moment can't be reduced to racism. It can't be reduced to sexism. It barely qualifies as ageism. But it's about something much deeper. It's about knowing when to say when. Now, history teaches us this lesson painfully. For example, in 20th century Black America, we were blessed with messianic leaders and figures such as Malcolm, Martin, Medgar, Muhammad, and Marcus, for example. But when these leaders were either assassinated or imprisoned or passed away, many of their movements struggled because second-generation leadership had not been fully developed. There was no bench, there was no succession plan, and there was no transition plan. I'll never forget a friend who stepped into a senior leadership position at a national healthcare organization. His boss told him on day one, start training your successor. That's wisdom. Yet too often, especially in our national Black community, once we grab the reins of power, we don't know how to loosen the grip and let it go. So we end up getting pushed out instead of stepping aside with dignity. Look at sports, for example. Legends like Kareem Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Willie Mays, and even today's great LeBron James, they all struggled with that moment. Contrast that with NFL great Jim Brown or tennis phenom Serena Williams, who walked away at the top of their games and remained forever iconic. The same leadership dilemma showed up nationally with Joe Biden in 2024. Whether it was inflated institutional ego or deflated personal ego, Biden stayed too long. For example, no 2024 incumbent party primary equals no transition runway for vetting potential campaign landmines, and they had them. And after that June 27th, 2024 debate drubbing from Donald Trump, it took Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama to push him aside, leaving Kamala Harris just 107 days to mount a national campaign. Folks, that's not succession planning, that's scrambling. And now we're watching a youth movement emerge, from congressional races to city halls, with, for example, the 34-year-old Zoran Mamdani challenging and besting political icons like Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams, winning the New York City mayoral crown. These moments are signals. They're not accidents. They are leadership alarms. This is why I salute Maxine Waters' challenger Myla Rahman, not because she's young, but because she represents what I call leading from the middle. And here's the hard truth. Congresswoman Maxine Waters still has a chance to control her legacy. Step aside with honor. Mentor the next generation. Then become known as a successor builder. Because even if she wins this re-election, she'll be challenged again and again and again. This is what egoholism looks like in leadership, a distorted sense of self that tells us we are indispensable. Recovering leaders know better. They build benches, they pass batons, and know when to say when. As poet Nikki Giovanni once said, I'm glad I'm young because youth and truth are making love. The question for every leader is simple. Will you make room for that truth or wait until it pushes you out? Thanks for joining us this afternoon for the 10 Commandments of Leadership podcast. In fact, join us each weekday for Tim Alston's Leadership Nuggets, educating, equipping, and empowering emerging leaders to manage ego problems in 60 seconds. It airs each weekday at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., and 7 p.m. Central Time, and available on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And also join us every weekday for the 10 Commandments of Leadership, 4 p.m. Also available on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. See you then, and invite a friend. Bye-bye.